live yet?
Yeah, my intro's playing, I think.
Oh, you're
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jaron. I'm back with a live video that we literally 3 minutes ago decided to do, courtesy of the always punctual, deep inside the rabbit hole, David Weiss. David, what's going on?
Hey, man.
I'm trying to make sure that we have your feed up. 1 second. Let me pull this over here. DITRH. Where is it?
See on your channel what I'm seeing. I see your intro.
My logo only, right?
Multiplex, demultiplexer, yes.
I wonder why this is not bringing up your page. Let me try this again. It was working before.
Turn
properties.
up. Turn volume up of me. My volume's low. But let's get the video up before you get my volume up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. 1 second. Let me get that going, because for some reason it's not up here. Where is your thing? This one. Okay, wait. Why is your screen like a... Oh, there. Now I got it.
You got it?
Oh, I'll have it in 1 second. Yep, now it should be on the live screen.
It is back to your logo, jumping all over the place. Black. Back to your logo. This is fantastic.
I think I fixed it. Maybe.
It just keeps repeating your... Oh, now there it is.
Okay. The live stream's a little bit behind.
Yeah, can you go forward?
Go.
Do I need...
What do you mean?
Let me just change the angle. No, you're way back.
Me? What are you talking about, me?
All right, never mind.
Oh. I can't change where I'm at in the real time. No. It's not possible. It's called time travel. And I'm pretty sure it breaks every law that there is.
So the sun has just been sitting on the horizon. So the question of whether it refracts or not, humidity or not, doesn't even matter, because it would just drop below the horizon. As soon as the bottom edge of the sun touches the horizon, 10 seconds later, the top should be gone. Right?
Can you take the color saturation down or up so we can see the more of the disc, or no?
Let me see. Hold on.
I thought you did that when we were in North Carolina. So everybody, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. David wanted to get this done, and I think we're up and running. Everything should be working fine. You should be able to hear us both. I'll check the chat in a second, make sure that everybody's happy and content. What's this here? I have a video coming out probably within an hour or so. I just got I'm putting the lyrics on the screen. It is another world premiere music video.
I think that my stream froze somehow. I think it's frozen, and that's why it's not setting.
It's just staying right there on the horizon line.
Yeah.
It's been there for 20 minutes. Something's going on here. Some sort of anomaly.
No, well, on the screen that I'm looking at, it's still there.
Somebody says the stream is buffering. I don't know if they're talking about my stream or...
The whole thing is buffering.
Oh, and I know what else is happening is that if I switch this screen, then that's why the other things... Okay, let me see. 1 second. I don't think I can... Can I make this go to another window? New tab.
What's on my display is absolutely amazing, and it's not what's on your screen right now, and it's not what's on my screen either.
Right? Is it on? It's not on your your channel.
It says it's streaming from the drone. The only screen that's correct is the drone screen.
Yeah, because I'm on your channel. Let me refresh your channel real quick, see what happens.
Yeah, it's not working.
Oh, yeah, it is. I see it.
Yeah, but the sun is literally behind those clouds right now. It literally is a quarter of the size that we see it right here, and it's just moving away.
So
Damn it! It was a perfect one. Maybe if it doesn't show now because it's buffering, when it renders later, will it show it correctly when it uploads?
I don't know. I don't have a drone.
No, I'm talking about the live stream. Well, if the live stream freezes,
Usually not. No.
okay, well that sucks.
So what is this? Is not playing at all then? What we're watching here.
I think it's way behind for some
Okay,
reason.
I'm gonna try and refresh again. Oh no, I see something flying around over there. A bird or something. I'm gonna try and zoom in real quick and see what I can see. Yeah, I think that's a bird. What is that? Bird?
Where?
Flying on the left-hand side there? I don't know what people can see on the live stream because I zoomed in. Yeah, you're getting some terrible buffering.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
They're shutting you down.
It was rock solid proof that we're not spinning. Oh, I see it now. It's a airplane.
I don't know if that was a plane, but it could have been. So what do you think that reflection flare is out there?
That's just a lens flare. You mean to the upper right at like 1 o'clock?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, that's just a lens flare. Nope, it's Nibiru, confirmed.
Interesting,
No?
interesting. I don't know. I've heard some people talking about it being a reflection off the atmospheric or the glass or the molten-looking glass dome.
You know, I won't rule it out, but I know that I have a lens cover. I have a lens filter on my lens. So now not only do I have a lens, I'm looking through another lens. So to me, that looks just like a filter. If I move the drone around, I bet it moves.
Let's see.
But the delay. Let me see what happens.
I keep refreshing, and I almost feel like we're watching the same thing over and over again, but I don't really know.
Yeah, you know what? Because right now the sun literally is. You can only see the top of it.
Oh, tell him to press the play button.
This is a miserable failure, but
This one? Oh.
Our stream here.
Yeah, that's.
Probably echoing now because I brought the controller back inside.
I don't know. We got a real winner over here in the chat. This channel name is Trust Christ or Go to Hell, and their first message is Jaron will burn in hell. That's lovely. That person's getting an immediate high five when he walks into heaven. God's going to be like, yes, you told people they're going to hell? My buddy. Yes.
I'm going to bring the drone down. I'm going to end my live stream. You talk to people in chat for a minute. I'm going to throw it up again. I'm going to start a new live stream, and maybe it'll show what's left, all right?
Okay, then I'll have another window. It'll be better. I'll have another window open.
All right, stand by.
Stand by. You're bringing this one down. I'm getting rid of that one. Okay. Let's go back over here and get something else on there. Let's go to the stolen money screen for a second. What's better than that? The current running total of space scam spending since 1960 is right now at 5,349 million, and make that 350 million and change. So what does it matter? What difference does it make whether the Earth is flat or round? Well, the difference is about 5.5 trillion, or 5.005 trillion. 1 second, we're going to see if David can get his drone back up. I'm going to shut this one down, the one that's buffering, the one that's telling me I'm going to hell.
Coming in for landing. Give me another minute.
Oh, I do not have a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's nothing's wrong with my feed. My feed says the health is good. There's no bad reports on that one. So I think that it's just yours that has an issue. Okay, so yeah, if you open up a new one, Dave, then I'll put that one up and it should be ready. I think. DITRH. And then I'll head over to the chat and see what's going on with people. Anything else new and exciting that I can think of? Like I said, new video coming out shortly. And this one here. So if everybody saw last night, I saw that Flat Earth Asshole is no longer Flat Earth Asshole. He's now Jake the Asshole, and his reason for that is because Flat Earth makes too many speculations, unfounded speculations. And then he went into a discussion on how Dave Chappelle has been replaced, because that's not speculation. So I was a little bit confused myself. But good riddance, Jake. Have fun. Don't let the dome hit you on your way out.
All right, just initializing. Stand by.
I'm waiting for you. I see your channel here. Wait, I need to open this in a new window, not the same browser. Hold on. Okay, so I'm ready when you go. Will it just pop up on your channel? Is that because I just went there last time and it was there? Now it's not there. Huh?
Give me a sec.
Okay, you have a sec.
It'll just pop up on my channel, but I'll tell you when it's up.
Okay, tell me there. I'm gonna go check out the chat.
Okay.
Hey, thank you. I see a super chat. That's awesome. Thank you. I don't know who it is or how to read it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, put my name in some sort of writing so that it highlights it. I do have it open now, so I am kind of keeping an eye on it for a second until David pulls his head out of his ass, and then we'll go from there. What's going on, everyone? Jake is the biggest asshole on YouTube. Jaron, Dave, have you received my drone water level test? You emailed me? I'm definitely behind on emails. It is a month that I'm, packing and moving. It's supposed to be moving if I can find a place. Jaron, are you scared of Red's rhetoric? Not in the least bit. The question needs to be, is Red's rhetoric scared of me? And if he's not, then why would he be afraid to use his real name? That's pretty much the sign of someone who's afraid of something. So I use my real name. And when he uses his and puts his face on the camera, like I do mine, I'll have a debate tomorrow. Said that since day one. Reds is yesterday's. There's Johnny. Jaron, question. Where are the vertical forces from Earth's rotation coming from if the Earth is... God bless, that's moving way too fast for me to see.
All right, I should be up, Jaron, but the sun has set, but the light is still there.
Let me see, hold on. I don't see a video. I do see it. No, wait. This one says streamed live 18 minutes ago. Not that one, right?
Not that one.
I don't think you have any...
It should come up.
Videos. Live streams. Okay, do you see that one? And you're spinning around or something? The sun's gone. Way to go. Nice sunset. Can you fly your drone over to California and then I'll film it from here?
Right on it.
Should work. Okay, let me get this screen up there. So DITRH, and we got to go get rid of this one. Sorry, we, as we said, did this last second. And I got to change this one to different window. This one, where's that? Sunset drone with DITRH. Oh, what? No.
All right.
This one, Mavic Pro. Okay, and let me just square the screen up and we should be go. Oh, that's not working. All right. There's no sun left.
Well, you see the sun right in the center there, right below those clouds, that little red spot. It's literally just behind that. The problem is we have that layer of clouds there. It kind of looks like mountains, but that's all clouds. So we can't see it because we missed it. It got smaller and smaller and then disappeared due to perspective behind the clouds because the clouds are higher than the drone.
Now, what is this dome look that we see there?
I don't think that's. I don't think you're sharing that screen, by the way.
Well, it's behind, but it'll be up in a second.
Oh, I think that's just the gradient. It doesn't. The brightest spot is in the center there, and the resolution is just putting it in layers. So that is the brightest spot, but I wouldn't say there's a dome or anything. That's just the way the light is spreading out where it's coming from. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it do. You know, I did finally see, I don't know if anybody else has seen this video. I saw a video the other day of somebody who did make a rainbow inside their house which was interesting because I was under the impression that rainbows could only be made outside or inside with a mirror. And the explanation for why it's harder to see inside did make sense. You have to have a certain type of light bulb. You have to have a, daylight bulb, and then you have to get low enough that you're at the angle that is needed to see the rainbow. And then he showed one inside of his garage. I don't remember the account name. If I can find it, I'll show people. But let me go back to the chat here.
Somebody said it's vignetting. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Vignetting.
And so you're setting. I didn't see. So it was definitely setting left to right.
Well, I'm looking directly at it, so I can imagine that it's hooking to the right a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets down to where the bottom edge of the sun is touching what looks like the horizon, I say it's a cloud deck. If there's no clouds and it's cold, because it's below freezing right now, the sun just literally stops and it gets smaller and smaller. Like that sunset in Africa that everybody says I faked.
Oh yeah, you did fake that one. I remember.
It does exactly that. The problem is, before it ever goes to a pinpoint, its brightness is blocked by the atmosphere.
Okay,
Today
so
we have some clouds on the horizon. Tomorrow might be clear again. I'm not sure.
here's my question, and I don't know if I'm seeing this right, but that little red bright spot there that is the sun, it seems to be moving to the left to me. Am I just tripping?
I think you might be tripping. The drone could be drifting a little bit too. It's windy out there. I don't know.
Looks to be moving left.
It would be going to the right if it was circling anyway. It would be to the right.
Yeah, and that's what was tripping. That's why I was tripping, because I'm looking at it and I kind of feel like I'm seeing it, but I can't tell if the drone is moving. Oh, the drone's moving to the right.
It's 15 to 20 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
The drone.
Now I'm looking at the ground over there on the left, and I see it is the drone that's moving. Okay, that makes sense.
Let me see if I can focus that a little better.
It is a drifting.
But it's still there. It's just behind those clouds. And if the clouds weren't there, you'd see it.
Yeah, and the other crazy thing about that is that it's localized to each person. So we see that red look, but of course somebody where the sun is above them right now, which would be where Hawaii, obviously is not underneath red clouds. They're under regular blue clouds, regular white clouds. In fact, I mean, my sky is completely blue. There's no red clouds above me. So that red cloud is a person's or area specific reflection. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it also what people don't realize is the throw of the sun's light is limited. It doesn't go for billions of years and trillions of miles. It only goes a certain distance, and as it goes, it fades super fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as it fades, you're losing those wavelengths. I mean, isn't that why we're seeing the red? Look how it's getting brighter now.
I know, that's what I was looking at too, and I can't tell if it's what is drifting, because that red light looks to me to be moving right to left, but it could be the drone moving left to right.
The drone, it's windy out there. It's super windy, and I have it up at 200 meters now.
200 meters, 600 feet.
250 meters.
Oh, okay. So yeah, interesting stuff with the sun. I'm gonna pop back over here to the chat and we'll see what's going on. Gotta make sure I'm on the right channel. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Is Bob in the chat? I think maybe, perhaps. Will you invite Wolfie to the show? Right now? I would have a show with Wolfie. That's fine. I don't mind of it. Wolfie and I have had a rather interesting back and forth lately. So he probably wouldn't come on. Okay, Jaron, question. How do Globers explain where the vertical forces from Earth's... Gosh, I cannot... How does anybody watch their chat?
You have to click in the chat and scroll down. Click in the chat and then pull it down, and it'll stop moving.
Pull it down?
Yeah, like you're scrolling up, like you're trying to scroll up.
I don't know. I don't see that happening.
Bob is in the chat.
Okay, I'm trying to find this person who kept asking the same question. I keep missing it. Jaron, any timing on improved laser test, or is it called off now? FE Core is doing a better one. No, we're waiting for that laser. Basically, we've got to the point where we are not going to be able to get a result with any laser that I can afford. I've got two. I've got the 3 watt and the 2 watt, and both them are giving us a broken beam at 4 miles that, you know, you're going to have people on both sides saying it's showing one thing or the other. It's not going to be determinable, not to the level that I wanted it to be. I was thinking it was going to be cut and dry. Now, with the FE Core laser, if everything goes as planned at the end of January, and that works great, then they're going to let me use that one. And they're going to also test it when they're out there to see what the diameter is at 4 miles. And if it's less than 6 inches, which the specs say it will be, then the test that I was going to do with the holes cut in the thing, and that will all work perfectly. But we need to wait until that Balaton test. Let's see here. Okay, let me find that person. Where was that message? Look how light changes. Okay, here it is. Do Globers explain where the vertical forces from Earth's rotation coming from? If the Earth is spinning in one direction on an axis horizontally.
I'll be right back. I gotta bring it down.
Okay, they would say that the vertical force is imparted upon it at the universe creation, and that because it's in space, there's no friction or anything to degrade the spin. That would be their answer. But again, I mean, there's more questions to that. You have both the water and the air and the winds all moving at speeds in the same direction as the Earth spins at faster speeds than the Earth spins. So, you know, somebody go get a basketball and start spinning it and tell me how you're going to get the winds to move faster on the spinning ball in the direction that it's spinning than the spinning ball. It's not going to happen. Same thing with the currents, you know, the circumpolar currents and also the jet streams. Jet streams are moving sometimes 250 miles per hour faster in the same direction. If anything, it should go the other way. If the planet were spinning east, then the wind should be going west, and that's not what's happening. So why isn't the moon spinning? LOL. Well, according to Globers, it is spinning. Jaron, reach out to me. I got a friend whose uncle works at NASA, and he's got some old rare video footages that you have to see that will give you some ammo. Great. Niles Downs. Niles, I will message you on your channel. Nope, that won't let me do that. Email me if you can, Niles, and I'll check today. The powers that be will... The powers that be will let this Jaronism crap go on as long as he is broke and can't bring any real change. I agree with Jaron on many things, but he ain't going to bring any real change. Well, that's the kind of attitude that gets changed on, I'll tell you. My whole thing is, as I've said from the very beginning, yeah, nobody on a YouTube channel is going to bring change to the world. But what's going to happen is you need to get it in enough people's ears. And if you don't think that all of us combined have contributed to the fact that 2 years ago, if you asked anybody if they'd ever heard of flat Earth, you would get 99% of the people saying no. And if you ask that question today to people, 50% of them or more would say they have heard of it. So that alone is making an impact. So you are incorrect. We have made an impact. Do you find it funny that I turned my flat Earth friend back into a globe believer? Do I find it funny? No. I don't. What's funny about that? It's a strange question. Do I find it funny? Nope. I don't find it funny. I find it to be indicative of what kind of person your friend probably is. I mean, either You are someone that accepts reality as it's given to you and as your eyes observe it and as your senses relate it, or you're somebody who throws away observation, throws away reality, throws away senses, throws away all that in trade for what men have told you is true. So if you want to believe you're spinning because you're told that you're spinning, and you want to believe that you're flying through space at crazy speeds, then as I've said before, your friend's the kind of person that if tomorrow it came out that we're actually spinning 17 billion miles per hour, he couldn't say anything. You can't have an argument, because if you've already agreed that we spin a certain speed that we would never feel and there's no impact on Earth, then it doesn't matter what that speed is. You're just willing to believe what you're told, and that's not a safe way to do things. Again, if you believe them after you've looked into it, done the research yourself, but that's not what's going on here. People just think mathematics is the answer, and that's not true. Math can, and I announced that yesterday. By the way, Dave, I'm going to start saying maths. I decided.
I keep hearing people use that, maths.
Well,
is that not Anthony Riley?
Yeah, well, yeah, all those guys in the UK and stuff use that, and I always made fun of them until the other day somebody said to me, well, is it mathematic or is it mathematics? And I said, it's mathematics. And they said, well, then it's maths. And I thought about that, and I tried to work it out like, wait, yeah, we would never say something is mathematic, so therefore the word math doesn't mean anything anymore. So I'm switching over to maths. So anyway, with maths, it is a useful tool, and it can be used to predict things, and but it cannot be used to dictate what reality is. And that's what's going on when you talk about like things like refraction. Refraction is a cop-out that the Globers use to have an excuse for why we see things at distances that we shouldn't. And over the next 2 years, if you ask me, or a year or two, what's going to happen, what's going to start coming out, it's going to be an onslaught of people who can see further than we should, because it happens everywhere, all across the earth every day. It's just, that's why they taught you when you were 6 years old that you live on a ball. And that's why they taught you when you were 8 years old that the most ridiculous belief there can be is that the earth is flat. Because by putting that into your mind at such a young age, as you grew up and as you saw things in your life that don't make sense on a ball, that they don't register as such, because we live on a ball, of course. Everybody knows this. So once you have that mindset, when you see things that don't conform to that, there's no other option. The other option is an ancient desert wandering belief that the earth is flat. So psychologically, you can't get over that. Now, that's what the change that we're making is we're giving people that opportunity to now look at some of these things a second time, and we're finding people from, sailors, people that are out on boats, people that live near the beach. Mel Fabregas talks about seeing islands 90 miles away from his beach house. All these things are clearly impossible. And refraction, if you believe in refraction, which means that light is bending, which I still haven't even seen evidence of light bending personally. I think light reflects in such a way that can be construed as bending. Like when you see that bottle of water and they poke a hole in it and there's a little stream coming out that's like an arc, and then they shoot a laser through it and the light bends and they say, oh, the light's bending. Well, no, I mean, if you just zoomed in on that water, light's going in and hitting every wall of that curved water, but it's always reflecting straight. It doesn't actually curve. But you have to believe that this light is curving in such a way that it's lifting up the Chicago skyline, that it's lifting up, Canigao Mountains, and displaying them for you on the horizon. And people forget the fact, Globers forget, if refraction was true, then it would also be lifting up the water and displaying the water higher than it should be. In which case, well, then if things are being seen behind water, that would be because the water has been refracted. So refraction isn't even an excuse anymore. It debunks itself. Is there miraging? Yeah. Is there reflections, which you can call refraction if you want, putting things where maybe they're a little bit higher or lower than they should be? Possibly, but I mean, think about if their light really bent. Okay, so if light bent because of the atmosphere that you're in, because of the haze, the humidity, you name it, the world would be displayed for us as a complete and total mess. Everywhere we looked, we would see horizon lines changing, light coming at us in curved ways, things being off kilter, but that's not what we get. We get a well-structured, organized visual display of the Earth. Now, I'm not saying all the time you're going to get mirages, but those are easily determinable when you see broken images, when you see that mirage look, that wet look. That's the difference. So when we see the buildings from Michigan, the Chicago skyline, and we know it's not a mirage, then it's safe to assume at that point that what you're looking at is the buildings, or at least a silhouette of the buildings. But to jump to the conclusion that it's refraction, that light is bending, it's lifting the buildings from behind the curvature, lifting them up, and then showing them to you in perfect order at the line of the horizon, is just a cop-out. It's not even, to me at least, it's not even a question anymore that I need to ask. And these are the things which, as funny as Globers may think that they are, that you have to give yourself permission to ask questions to come to some of these conclusions. So are we going to be wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Recently, one of my videos I did last week, and then I talked about it on Globebusters, I had looked at this thing with the the one astronaut and the 3 locations, and the fact that shadow moved, and said, this is impossible. It's impossible. And I spent some time looking at it, showed Bob it on Globebusters. He said it was impossible. And really it just took all of 5 minutes for me to lay out a piece of paper, get a light source, get 3 things. I had 3 little matchboxes, put them out there, and then kind of look at it, and then it made sense. Then I'm looking at it oh shit. And at one point on Globebusters, I even said, the shadow moves 180 degrees. That's impossible. The shadow can't move 180 degrees. And I didn't even think to myself, well, if the camera moves 180 degrees, then the shadow didn't move. And that's basically how you answer that question. I can show that in a second, just a little example. But what I'm trying to get at there is that, everybody's going to make mistakes, or I'm going to make mistakes. I don't claim I'm not going to. But that's what happens. When you're lied to, you're going to make mistakes as you try and piece back together the truth. And that makes things difficult, and people may see that as, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Well, just like science is wrong in its hypothesis often, well, so are people going to be when they're trying to piece together the truth. Nobody's claiming to be right. No one's claiming that they know how everything works, the layout of the land, the layout of the flat earth. I'm certainly not saying that, but I'm open to.
One of the things that I've been really looking into is a thing that's called the scientific uncertainty principle. Did we discuss this?
Nope.
Basically, it doesn't let you prove anything that we're not ready to see the evidence of. So that's why there's so many things that are just you can't absolutely prove them until the world is ready. I don't know if I'm saying it right, and I might sound a little crazy, but the more I look into it, the more sense it makes. I got a question for you, slightly on that subject. Somebody asked earlier back in the chat, is there any evidence of a dome? And my answer was, there's more evidence of a dome than no dome. If you had to be, right now, you had to give an answer, dome or no dome, what would you say?
When you say dome, are you talking about a physical structure, like a glass structure?
No, I'm talking about a top, a cap, something enclosing us, whether it's energetic, physical, water, but it's something there that's holding everything in and holding anything out.
I would have said 2 days ago, but you probably would have got me to say yes on that answer. The reason I've changed my mind is a big thing for me was the rainbow. I thought that science's explanation was terrible, and I thought that it couldn't be produced inside your house without a prism or a mirror. And so I kept going back and forth saying, well, there has to be some sort of thing acting as a prism or mirror outside in the world to cause a rainbow. But I just saw a video the other day of somebody do it inside their garage, and it kind of made more sense to me of what we're seeing. So then I said, okay, well, now I no longer need that outside. So I can't say.
How did he make it in the garage? You spray some water in the air, and how do we know it wasn't reflecting off of the paint on the ceiling? I mean, what do we know about this experiment?
Just basically, yeah, he had a sprinkler inside, had a daylight bulb. It has to be a pretty good distance away from the water. You know, it's not right next to it. It was probably 20 feet away, or 15, and then you have to be low enough to the sprinkler to get to that angle that causes the rainbow. I forgot if it's 21 degrees or 42.
And why? I mean, he's in a house. His house has a ceiling, and light reflects off the ceiling, and that's a given because that's how you can see the ceiling.
Well,
doesn't that count as reflected light?
But then why would the rainbow be a bow? Good
question.
Right. I mean, if it's then you shouldn't be getting a bow. I mean, the only thing I've heard, I saw some people in the comments saying they thought that it was as a result of the circular bulb that was causing the circular. It didn't seem to coincide at all to the bulb to me. So I don't know. I would agree that I'm not really sure that there's a lot of. I know Bob believes in the firmament. I know a lot of people believe in it. Obviously, the Christians believe in it. For me, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't say it yet because I don't have any evidence that it's. Granted, there's the pressure system causes most people to think that there must be some sort of reason for that. But again, for me, I can look at it and everything with weight of any kind or mass, if you will, would head towards Earth. And, the heavier masses is on the ground, the rocks, the dirt, the water, the dust. And then as you go up, you get a little bit lighter. Now, granted, there is some things up in the atmospheres that seems to break that law. But where does hydrogen, where does helium go if it doesn't have something to stop it? I don't know that answer. Can't say. But I don't know if there's a physical structure. To me, I pictured the atmospheric structure, but even that, I picture that as being flat. I think that the sky above me is flat, and that is evident everywhere. There's tons of evidence for that. Any kind of anti-crepuscular rays or crepuscular rays, the shadows that we get when either through looking at planes or anything that shadows on the ceiling, if you will. Like we've seen it with what's that Mount Rainier? That happens every once in a while where you get that shadow that propagates on the ceiling. All those things act as a flat reflective surface, not as a dome of any kind. It's not acting as a dome.
When I think of it, when I say a dome, I agree. I think it's relatively flat, or at least flat over us. Maybe it curves down near the edges. I have no idea. And that curving down could explain the light wrapping around during the December solstice.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the craziest things this is so interesting that when I remember Cathexis and I looked at it for hours one night and just couldn't get anything, got pissed. Because if you go, and I'll wait till are you still, your stream's over?
Yes, I ended. I brought it down.
I'm just looking at this red light.
I took a picture just on the way down, and I sent it in Skype if you want to throw that up.
Okay, one second. Let me set this back up so I can have, I'll show you something. What were we talking about right before I said that?
We were talking about the flat ceiling.
And then there was something else I was going to say. What did you say right after that?
Curving down, the light wrapping around.
Oh, yeah, the south, yeah. So let me see if I can get this browser open. So this one's what? Window capture 4. Okay, so that's this. One second, let me fix this. What else is new, David?
Nothing. It's all good, man.
That's good. It's all good in the hood?
It's all good. It's freezing. We had it's been so cold on the East Coast
don't
here,
be
and we
such a
had a
puss.
couple days of warm. Today was almost 50, and tomorrow it's not going to even get above freezing.
Okay, let's see. Where's your thing here? All right, and let me transition this. So I'll just show something real quick. So this has never really jived well with me, the magnetic declination. Am I on the right thing?
I don't see anything yet.
Okay, tell me if I'm on the right. I have two windows open. I just hope I have the right one. And I don't even know if this is the right size because I was taping that video. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, it's working. It'll come
There
up in
you
a
go.
second. So the magnetic declination, you can find, I don't know what's the best one. There's one here that you can actually, which one is it? Magnetic declination map. So, the declination tells you, I know mine's like 13. Here where I live, basically I'm going to be 13 degrees off of geographic north and versus magnetic. So let me see this map here. So when you find one of these, okay, this one's a map here. So for instance, right here where I'm at, you'll see that we are plus 13 degrees. Declination is positive east. So again, that's not much of a big difference. It is slightly, but if I got my compass that's based off of magnetics and I looked at it, the actual geographic north is plus 13 degrees positive towards the east. So, and if you go across, you can just click anywhere in this map and you're going to get the magnetic declination. For the most part, they seem to jive together with them. You'll see here as we start going across the United States, it's 12. Here it's 10. Get over here, now it's 8. So it seems to make sense as we get closer to here. Now here's 0, basically saying in Illinois or about there, Iowa. Now you're kind of straight on with the North Pole and the North Pole, the magnetic and the. So that makes sense. But as you start to go down south, things get ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, watch this. So I'm just going to go down here. This is South America. Declination now is -5 degrees to the west. Okay, that makes sense. We'll go here to South Africa. -14 degrees. Go to Australia. And Australia is at a 0 here on the west coast. We'll drop down here a little bit. Still at 0. -2. Over here we're at +7. Over here we're at +12. Go to the north, +2. Now watch this when we go down here. When I go down here to Antarctica, I'm going to click here. Magnetic declination, -60. How about here? -72. So imagine what that means. I'm going to go a little bit further so we can see if we can get a 90.
Karen, explain exactly what magnetic declination means.
Okay, so like I said, if I pulled out my compass right now and used the magnetics in the compass, obviously, and the Earth's magnetic field, that I'm going to get where north is. Well, if I didn't know that my magnetic declination is 13 positive to the east here, then if I started walking towards the North Pole, I'm going to end up walking towards the magnetic North Pole, which is not the geographic North Pole, which is where supposedly the axis of the Earth runs through, pointed to Polaris and so forth. So it's not that big of a deal, but it could be a problem if I ever was in a forest or I needed to walk towards a certain direction. It's best to know your declination. In today's world, everything is pretty much done electronically, so those things are kind of figured out for you. So it's not as important, but now picture this. So like I just said, if I was looking at my compass, it's pointing me to the North Pole. I need to know to turn 13 degrees to the east to be at the actual North Pole. Now, down here, I'm in Antarctica's shore, and the magnetic declination is -90, which means if I look at my compass and it tells me which way is north, I need to turn 90 degrees to be at actual north. So that's ridiculous.
Can you go to the other side of Antarctica?
Sure, I'll just keep walking along the shore here. Now look at this. Tell me how this one works. Here, where I'm at now, is 165, 66, 69, 169 degrees, which means if you're looking at your compass and it tells you which way north is, you need to turn 170 degrees, which is completely turning around, facing the other direction to get to the actual north. So this is the kind of thing that people just don't they look over. Globers, they don't care.
You interpret this on a flat Earth map? Does it make sense
Hell
on
no.
a flat Earth map?
No. I mean, it's such a disaster. That's what I was talking about when Cathexis and I just looked at it and tried to map it, and it just, I mean, how could you be at a location on Antarctica that's telling you, it doesn't even make sense on a flat Earth map either, because how could you be looking somewhere that you think is north and then you have to turn around? How you have to turn and face the other direction. So they can hide whatever they want in this kind of information, and people will just never figure it out. That's one of the secrets about lying to people. When you lie to people, you have the upper hand right away. That you have absolutely handicapped everyone just by lying to them. It becomes almost impossible. I mean, it's going to take a lot of people and a lot of time to figure things out like this. Like how this makes any sense, I don't know. It pisses me off because it's just these guys are all proud of themselves for hiding shit when anybody could do that. I mean, you and I today, before we went live, Dave, could have came up with whatever story we wanted that happened earlier today. That this guy called me, then he called you. I mean, we can make up a story. And just because you and I feel like being liars, we can then present that to people, and they would kind of have to believe it. And even if they didn't believe it, they couldn't prove us wrong. And that's kind of the situation that these powers that should not be are in, that they knew, just like NASA knew, hey, nobody can go to space. So if we get there first and we dictate what's out there, nobody can ever disprove us because nobody can go to space. End of story. That their secret is sealed because nobody can go to space. So the people who say they're in space can make up whatever stories they want about it. And since we can't go there, how do you disprove it? You can't disprove Saturn or Jupiter unless you go there and measure it. Well, you can't go to space. So you
just wait until next year when Elon's going there. And
I forgot. You're right.
Going to go there, and then you'll have to eat your words.
Especially when he puts his red Tesla car into a billion-year Mars orbit.
Is that going up this next month?
Supposed to. I think there was Falcon Heavy. Yeah.
Can you play the launch from the other day, the landing, just so we can laugh at it? Because if people didn't see it.
Yeah, you know what I want to bring? I don't want to do it because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I'll bring. No, the SpaceX one we can do, but you have to watch this video. The guy's name is anyway. This magnetic declination. I'll just finish that off. You can see all along Antarctica these numbers are ridiculous. 120, 134, and you can go inland 170. I don't know if 175. 175 is ridiculous. I mean, it's completely turning around. So there's just some disasters down here. So anyway, that's something people can look into, and that might have the answer in it. You know, you might be able to remap the true Earth if you use magnetic declination to be your basis. So this other channel is called, it's called Everyday Astronaut. I don't know if you've heard of him. Have you heard that guy?
No.
He's like a SpaceX fanboy. NASA fanboy. This guy here, Everyday Astronaut. I'll just bring up his channel. I won't bring up the video. I don't know what his rules are about playing it. But watch this video on his channel that's called, I think it's the most recent one, videos. Yeah, this one here. So it's live hosting top secret SpaceX Zuma launch. One of the funnier things about him, he seems a little bit awkward, like he's new to space stuff. And he
Are you sharing something? Because I just see the map.
The what? Did I?
I just
Hold
see the map.
Let me cheat. No, yeah, I'm sharing. It just is behind.
Okay.
So, oops. Now I lost my page. Hold on. There it is. All right. So he seems a little bit awkward. He doesn't really seem like he gets space. He understands it. I mean, he understands it better than I do as far as these launches and what they entail. But it's funny because he said 3 or 4 times in this cast, and if you're one of those conspiracy theorists that think space is fake, this is not fake. And, if you actually believe that SpaceX is faking everything. So he says it 2 or 3 times in his feed. And then to watch his face when, you know what? I think I could bring it up as long as I don't play the video. Let me just bring it up with and pause it. Because I just want you to see his face. So this is the guy here. He's getting ready to watch the launch. He's answering people's questions. and get this on and play. So he's telling everybody there's no way this is fake. They don't just launch this for no reason. Here goes the rocket as it's taking off. And at the point where it does the stage 1 comes back. Okay, so this is right before the launch. The thing's coming down right here, and I want you to see his face because he's looking at it saying, something isn't right here. And he's absolutely right. It's something's way wrong, and he knows it, and he just got done telling people there's no way this is fake, there's no way this is wrong, and it completely falls apart here, trying to find the exact spots. When it's coming back, there should be just the one engine burning, and from this angle, you can see 3, and you can see his face right there. He's kind of like, yeah, it's right here. Oops. Did it already land? Here we go. Look at his face here, because he's very confused as to, see his face? He's like, this part. These are, this is supposedly the rocket coming back. Well, what are these 3 lights here? It doesn't even make sense. And if you see him, he's just, let me put it on. Yeah, I'll just go like this. And you can see he's just kind of like stuck on the screen. Look at it. He's like, now that doesn't seem right at all. It's just funny. It's worth watching. So it's at the 36-minute, 20-second mark. But for him to go from telling everybody how absolutely true it is to then looking at it with that question. He's one of these guys that pumps his fists like it's his sports team that scored the touchdown or something.
Reach out there.
Yeah, I would love to. He seems like a nice guy. But he was funny to watch. Missa, I had to show Missa, and she was laughing at him because it's just funny. She's, come on, guys, this is not. It's definitely real. It's all real. And then he sees these 3 lights. He's like, I don't know. Well, that's weird. Never seen that before. Wonder what that means. It's funny. Anyway, and then what did you want to look? You said, go to that thing. Yeah, I got you.
Landing. How much does that thing weigh when it lands?
I think 50. I don't know about that particular, but it's usually 50,000 pounds.
It's just so insane. It's literally a sparkler firework being pushed down to the ground.
And they lost that, right?
They lost the satellite, I heard.
Yeah, they never. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but and now they're having arguments back and forth. SpaceX just more putting it in people's heads. SpaceX denying that it's their fault. Northrop Grumman getting blamed for it. Let me bring up the.
Was it you that said that possibly somebody saw the rocket just crashing down and they had to claim that they lost the satellite?
Yeah, I think if there was any kind of a disconnect or with the so-called mathematics involved, so that everyone gets these reports saying that it actually happened. The maths, yes. Okay, so we're going to look at the Zuma launch and landing, SpaceX Zuma 17. Yeah, this one. Oops. I just want to make sure I don't get a strike, so let me make sure I pull up the SpaceX version. SpaceX, here we go. And so, yeah, I don't know why they... The other thing that was weird, I have to go back and watch it, that channel that we were just on, when that guy ended his stream, he was taking questions from people, and somebody said in the questions, hey, did you hear them say that there was a problem at fairing separation? And then that guy said, no, I didn't hear that, and they just kind of dismissed it. But that would be interesting because it ends up the next day, we find out it got lost, and that's supposedly the time when something went wrong. So I didn't go back and look, but some person asking the question did ask that question, as they must have heard somebody say something about it. But yeah, the best way to look at the landing, and I know people think it's all real and everything, is just take a little mental trip for a second to the One World Trade Center in New York, and that's like 1,700 feet high, and just take a Honda Accord to the top of that, and now drop that Honda Accord. That thing's going to start moving. We know that, but it's not going to go very fast. The Honda Accord will max out probably at 250 miles per hour, let's say. And then imagine having to shoot out a blast of some type, a rocket blast or whatever, with enough power that's going to stop the 250 mile per hour car barreling down towards the earth. Whatever blast came out of that would rip a hole in the earth. If you just think of it, don't go back to what you've seen or what we think we've seen. Just rationally think about that. You're trying to stop a 3,000-pound car falling at free fall speed from hitting the Earth. I mean, I can't even imagine what kind of blast that would take. Now, move forward to SpaceX, and you're talking about 20 times that weight. So now you're dropping 20 Honda Civics, and they are in cylindrical shape, like a pencil. And out of the little end of it, you're going to shoot enough rocket blast that's going to stop that from hitting the ground. And it's not falling 250 miles per hour, and it's not falling from 1,700 feet. It's falling from 570,000 feet, or whatever it gets up to.
And it's tall. And how does it? I mean, every time I watch NASA or anybody try to hover something, it's wobbling all over the place, and that's with a low center of gravity.
Right.
It makes no sense. Hey, can you turn up my volume anyway? Everyone's saying that I sound like I'm in a small box.
1 second. Let me see. I'll try it. Try now.
I have no idea. I sound the same to me.
I think you sound louder to me, so maybe it's louder to them. We'll let them
All
answer. Right. Yeah, I mean, every part of this just bugs me. Like, this is shaking. So wherever this camera is, let's go to this zoom out camera here. Okay, this camera has got to be miles away, and it's shaking. So every car alarm, every our glass windows breaking. This is how bad the camera's shaking. I don't know.
Maybe it's the person holding it is just so excited.
They're peeing their pants. And
yeah, they're shaking. It was
a little
joy. And isn't it then when there's 2 seconds later, isn't it going sideways?
Pretty
Unless
quickly.
There's something flying next to it.
Let me see. Right there, that's the sideways camera. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make. I hate all this stuff. I think it's all just nonsense.
Yeah, that right there. What direction is that going?
It would be still going up like that. It's just a sideways camera view, I guess.
Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what That's what they would say. I certainly don't say that. I don't know what the hell's any of this stuff makes no sense.
The amount of thrust right there would be blowing that smoke. It just would be obliterating it. And why is there only smoke on the ground and not trailing up to the rocket?
Well, the smoke is not smoke; it's steam.
It's steam.
But I don't know what difference that makes of where it should come from. The one thing I still want somebody to answer is, where is the sonic boom? I don't understand how you can have a sonic boom when it comes back, but not when it takes off. When it takes off, it has to go through the sound barrier pretty quickly within 20 or 30 seconds. And it's right there, and why wouldn't it make a sound? And then I've heard people say, well, it's because it's going straight up when it takes off. When it comes back, it's going sideways, which is not true.
How long does the rocket accelerating for? Is it 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, probably.
Minutes?
I would say, 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
7 minutes. So someone needs to do the maths on this, but I think the acceleration is like 200 miles per hour increase every like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. So imagine you've seen those Tesla commercials of someone sitting in the car going from 0 to, what do they do, 60 or to 100 in like 3 seconds?
60.
0 to 60. So you got to go 0 to 200 in, let's say, 5 seconds for 10 minutes.
And it has to get exponentially faster.
Yeah, you have to keep going accelerating that much. That's not what we see when they show us inside these things. I mean, they would be flattened. Their brains would short circuit.
Plus, they're working with less atmosphere. That's going to be harder to move. They say it's easier, but what are you pushing off of? What is propelling?
And how do they get the fuel to come out of a jet nozzle at faster than 17,000 miles an hour? Because it would have to go faster to push it faster, right?
I don't know how that works. That's rocket equations.
I mean, if you're in a boat and the boat's going 10 miles an hour through the water and you stick a paddle in the water and only push it at 8 miles an hour, you're not going to get any push. It's not going to do anything. You have to accelerate the boat faster. You'd have to paddle at 12 miles an hour.
So let's talk through this with me, because I had a problem with this before. I'm going to look again. So we know it's all one piece right now, right? The whole rocket. It hasn't broken up yet until now. Okay, so now we should be having the second stage pop off the top, and the first stage, there's the separation of the two stages. So now we've got 2 stages, and one of them should be starting to head back towards Earth. The other one's going out into orbit. So let's pretend like we're not going to worry about the one going into orbit. We just want to pay attention to the first stage, which is coming back. So the next scene here, to me, seems like a mistake. They go to this downlink thing, and then when they come back, okay, stop right here. There's something going on over here. There's a little smoke. We'll kind of watch this screen for a second. Smoke and weirdness, and there's a light over here. Okay, and then they switch off that screen. But here, what is this white light here? What is?
I'm watching the stream, so I'm behind you.
Okay, so in a second you're going to see like a white, and I'm assuming this is the first stage coming back. I'm assuming it's already in the since there was a good 10 seconds there that there was no. That's I bet when the rocket flips to start coming back. Could be wrong there. I'm not saying I know that that's true. We didn't get to see it, so how would I know? But there's a little white light here that seems to be staying directly under the rocket. In fact, it looks an awful lot like the landing light when it eventually lands. We know that would be wrong.
Yeah, it zeroes in on that light automatically. That light attracts the rocket to it in a vertical position for a smooth landing.
Yeah, it's easy. It's
yeah.
Get a physics book, dude.
Yeah, science, bro.
So I just want to rewind real quick to that one spot, because what is going on in the second view, and what is it supposed to be? So right when it comes out of this screen, there's something going on in this view. Do I have it zoomed in where people can see what I'm talking about?
Before I forget, a couple of people were asking, do you have a link to that in-house video of the...
I'll find it right after this. Just remind me after this, and we'll find it, and I'll get the link.
We'll put it in the chat or put it in the comments.
Or I'll bring it up here and talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I just want to rewind this one more time. Oops, that's my screen. No, wait. Yeah, that's not good. This one. All right. So see this on the right side? I don't know what they would have gone to split screen here. And imagine this, David. So you've seen before when they show that orange glowing rocket cone, right? That view.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Okay, so get this. So because this was a secret mission, they didn't show that view, as if anybody would be able to deduce anything from that view. Like, oh, the secret mission is actually such and such because the rocket cone is glowing at this temp. It's just so ridiculous. Like, oh, it's a secret mission, so we're not going to show you the glowing cone this time. Ooh, this must be secret.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, they didn't show it because they said it was secret.
Okay, glows like that and holds its strength.
So what do you think this is over here, though? So why, if they're not going to show the second stage, then why would you have a split screen? You only are showing.
I'm seeing the shot with a whole screen. Okay,
in a second you're going to see a split screen. It's probably easier if I should have done this already. Can you look at Skype right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, let me just share my screen. This way you're looking at the same thing I am. So you can stop saying that you're behind me. 1 second. So I have to go plus share screens. And all right, tell me if you can see. You should see my OBS now.
I do. Got it.
Okay. So watch right here on this right box. Oops, I can't play from there.
Okay.
Here we go. So right here after this screen, it goes bloop, and then here. Okay, so it's got split screens, but what is going on over here on the right? What is that? Because then they bring up this one. So what was over there? I don't know.
So you know what that is on the left right there, what we're seeing right now?
This light?
This whole screen. You know what this whole image is?
No.
It is a pier, and at the end of the pier, there's someone's holding a spotlight, shining it down the pier.
It looks like
it's filming along a pier. That's all it is.
And that somebody didn't tell that boat to get out of the water.
Yeah, there's a boat behind us.
Get out of the water!
Sailing by.
We're filming here.
There's a couple things on the pier that are in the way. Those are those lumps right there. That's it. That's all it is.
And now that boat's gonna get in trouble. In fact, right here comes the Coast Guard. Look it. Here comes the Coast Guard. You're out of here, sir. I didn't even know. Nope, that's it. I've had about enough of you. Turn off your light. We're out of here. See, he's getting arrested. Don't go out at the end of the pier when SpaceX is faking space. That's the moral of the story. Let me see here. So then we go a little bit further.
How do people believe this nonsense? How?
Because the idea of it being a lie is just too much. It's
you know what?
Too much.
I actually told this story the other day, a long time ago, right after the Boston Marathon happened, I went to the Orthopedic Association in my town, which is people travel all over the country to get these guys to operate on them. And I brought some pictures of Jeff Bowman there, who's the guy, Jeff Bone Man, funny. The guy that had his leg blown off was laid there for 20 minutes, and then they set him up in a wheelchair and took him for a little ride. And I showed them to a couple of doctors, and they said, well, this is from the marathon, and they wouldn't fake it, so it has to be real. And they started making up excuses. Yep. They just started, well, his arteries could have pulled back, and he was in shock, and and I'm just watching them, and they said they wouldn't fake it. Too many people would have to be in on it. Therefore, it's real. Right. And that's the problem we have.
Yeah. No, totally. Because I could see why people come to that conclusion, because it does seem too much. And I've said before, the only reason I've ever second guessed myself is like the amount of stuff they put out. But I also have gotten so many people that have told me as a response to my videos, it can't be being faked because of the amount of stuff they put out. And then it hits me, well, that's the reason they put out so much, is because they've just given that person that excuse. It's just an extra excuse. The extra excuse being, like Bill Nye says, right, that it'd be too much. It would cost too much to fake it.
It would cost too much to fake it.
Right.
When people say that, I just immediately give up on them and ban them.
So watch this view here. Like, okay, so right here, here's this rocket thing coming, and then it like goes out, and then lights is 3. Like, what is that? I don't get it. Is this a circle? This is the 3 rockets inside? No way. Can't be. It just, geometrically wouldn't work that way. And then remember that we're talking about the car coming down 250 miles per hour. This thing's 50,000 pounds. It's coming down, and for a majority of the time, it doesn't even have any rockets shooting out. It's just coasting.
There's a lot of people that are like, I wish I could help. I wish I could contribute. I'm not good at making videos. If somebody wants to make a fantastic video, just film some lights in the dark, get a little firework, hold your iPhone next to it, move it around, take a bunch of clips, edit them together, and then tell us it's a NASA launch and put up a video. It would be hysterical. You could just this is nothing. We're seeing nothing.
I know. It's like when I tried the Fake X challenge, and you and I won first and second place.
I know.
We're the only ones that did it. No, there was like 2 or 3 other people that did it, but it wasn't much to speak of. Yeah, so I don't know. There's so much wrong with this that we'll watch this thing land and then toss it in the trash. It's just, again, all these satellites that go up every month, what difference is it made in your life? Do you have better GPS now because another satellite that cost somebody $350 million went out? No. Everything is what it is. It's been that way. Nobody's getting improved DirecTV channels because a new satellite went up. They just keep telling you they're launching this satellite, but nothing changes. It's just money changing hands and getting taken from you. That's all that's really happening. And your mind, of course, being raped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, here's the thing, too. Let's go back to the launch here. So when the launch happened, they've got this thing lit up with these spotlights. Oh, watch this, Dave. I was going to show you this part. Is it right here? Right before the launch. Remember how I showed you that before, how it disappeared? Look, it does it again. What is this? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not the part. There was a part Miss and I were watching it where it looked like it again.
It faded out.
Yeah, look it. Gone.
Whoa.
You fake mother. Oh, boy. Anyway, and then somebody will just go, dude, that's the fog. Dude, it's the fog. You're saying that they're making it disappear with fog. I'm just saying that, okay, so they got this whole thing lit up. Look at that. The fog. Up. Deep fog. 0 visibility. So they got this whole thing lit up with these spotlights, and it's lit up for the takeoff. And for the landing, we get...
Well, Jaron, if the lights were coming on the landing, it would blind the camera sensors, and they wouldn't be able to see.
Right. You get these 2 little lights, and then when it lands, the lights shut off. Because we don't need to see it now. Turn it down. We've got to have pitch black out here, besides the thing that's on fire. And
you would think that the lights would just, boom, come on once it lands.
Right.
And light it up.
Like I said, why not? I want to see it land in the middle of the Rose Bowl in L.A.
Was that a landing on a raft? I couldn't even tell.
No, that one was at land.
That was on land.
Yeah, and look at these lights now. Yeah, this is great. You can't even, if it wasn't there, nobody would have a clue. They could be showing us empty area right now. There's not even a rocket there, and nobody would have a clue.
And what about this guy? Is he not a real person, brainwashed, or in on it?
He's that generation, the Generation X, the millennials, they're just going to believe it. They're getting paid. Why would anybody pay me to talk about a lie? Why would anybody? That's what his mentality would be. If somebody came and said, "What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense." Same thing with that guy I call the bowling alley director, that other old man that's usually here. He just sits there and says, he even admits it the whole time, and listen for the launch director to tell us when we've got separation. And then in the background you hear, "We got separation." And he says, "Okay, we've got separation." He's got a computer in front of him. He's some sort of engineer. He doesn't get that information through. He has to wait for an audio person to tell him, and that's his whole show. He just sits there and waits until somebody on the loudspeaker says, "We got fairing separation. All right, we just got."
Sometimes he hears a tone.
A tone, yep. Sometimes just a tone. We got the tone that we have entered the boost back phase. Whatever. It's just, and again, somebody like that is never going to question. They don't think there's even a chance. Like, what do you mean? I've been going to work and being paid so that these guys can just tell lies? It just doesn't register with
But
them.
Jared, why would they lie about the flat Earth? What difference does it make?
Again, who said this the other day? I heard somebody saying it, and I agreed with them. Antonio Subrats was saying, and I tend to agree with him. I don't think this was a deception to begin with. I think it has to do with them jumping the gun, because you have to put yourself back in time. Put yourself at 300 AD, 500 AD, and picture you're trying to determine what's going on in the world around you. And you see the sun rise and set. You see the moon rise and set. Okay. You can start to think that they're going around you and you live on a flat plane, if that was the going belief. But then you send boats out and they disappear. And from your optics, you see the boats go what looks to be over the curvature. They come back and you say, "Where the hell did you go? Did you fall off the edge?" And they say, "No, we just kept going. We just went that way." "Oh, we saw you disappear." "Oh shit, the Earth must be a ball." That's why you went over the edge, and then science ran with it. And then you've got Copernicus, and you've got this whole scientific revolution. These guys giving each other hand jobs. Who knows what they're doing? It's just the glorious thing that mankind's ever done, the scientific revolution. And they pushed this thing when they didn't have things like telescopes. Galileo's first one, right? They say, supposedly. So all these things that, like, imagine we're talking about Copernicus. All of that work that he supposedly did would have been without a telescope. He was 200 years before that. So these things were, and even in his preface, right, of his book, which I love to read that preface, because he flat out says that it's an art. It's not even meant to be taken literally. Now, somebody came along and said, "Nope, it's literal now." Copernicus preface. I'll just read that real quick. But here's what I'm trying to say. If they all went full board on this, and then they went up against the church and said, "No, you guys don't know what's going on. We're scientific. We know what's going on. Facts, evidence, research." If come 17, 18, 1900, somebody realized they were wrong, they would have to lie about it. It's not even a question of, would they lie about it? No, there's no question there. Science has put itself into the number one spot. It has put itself as the dictators of the world of who's going to tell us what reality is. They would have recognized that by admitting that fault, they give the control back to the church. They lose their jobs. They get laughed at. They told everybody how smart they were, and look, you got proven wrong. You thought we lived on a ball, you stupid idiots, and we don't. And you told everybody we did. Well, they went more on than that. I mean, they went down the road of, the church is nonsense, and then everything scientific that came out, you'll notice, is anti the Bible. And again, I've talked about that before. I don't want to be in a world that's led by the Catholic Church today. So thank you, science, for doing that. However, you don't need to tell lies, and that's what they ultimately had to do. They went around and just made shit up, because it's anything that can't be proven, right? I mean, the age of the earth, well, who the hell's going to prove that? So say it's so old that makes the Bible obsolete. Make evolution true so that creation is obsolete. That became science's job. It no longer became.
That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is they knew it was flat, and they saw that the globe deception was a way to literally enslave the world, and took it from there. Maybe some people along the way actually believed it was a globe, and they're caught in the lie, and they can't get out of it. And there could be plenty of people that after in today's time, after a couple generations of this, that they're caught in the lie, and they're running these universities or research programs, and they can't get out of it. But I believe that the lie was started to literally enslave the world satanically.
And when do you think this was?
150 years ago.
So you would be under the belief, like Copernicus, all that stuff added into the history 150 years ago.
Was Copernicus even real? I have no idea.
I certainly don't believe that he published a book on his deathbed.
Right, and I don't believe that. I don't believe Aristophanes.
No, that's certainly not. No.
Yeah. So and we found these articles. There's a couple of people found more articles from 1900. Some people claim that it's the National Enquirer of the time, but I don't see it that way. But
yeah, you can look. I've seen people say that too. You're talking about that newspaper that talked about somebody being in trouble for teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and looked it up. It's not a satirical newspaper. It was the actual newspaper at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually read the whole page. I found a couple pages of it, and I was reading, and there's some crazy stuff in there. But that was back then, In 1960, you should see the articles they wrote about how a woman should prepare for her man coming home from work.
Right.
It's fantastic. I don't know what the hell happened to this world since then. But the what was I saying?
You're talking about Copernicus and the deathbed and the.
Gone.
I think that's the direction you were going now.
Yeah. So no, it's just.
Oops. Trying to find this. I have the PDF too. If I have to get that, I don't see. Maybe this is it. Yeah, it's the PDF. So I'll just read real quick this.
I remember.
Okay.
Curious Jay. He was. He talked about it on the podcast. He talked to an old woman from Croatia, and
I heard him tell that story.
He brought up flat Earth, and she's like, "Of course, the Earth is flat." We were taught that in grade school, and he's like, that people are taught that the Earth is a ball today, and she's like, "That's silly." And so that's a woman that's under 100 years old, and they were teaching it, in other countries. So I think my data, when I said 150, I was just going long. I think it might even be less than that.
Now the belief about this Copernicus book is that this forward. Okay, so basically Copernicus is on his deathbed. He gives it to whoever the publisher was. I forgot the guy's name. Says here, publish my book. Now the story goes that this guy then had some other business he had to take care of, so he handed it off to another person. The other person being this guy by the name of Anaximander, or I forgot his name, but he supposedly wrote this forward. This guy, Andreas Osiander, he wrote the forward for the book and then put it in without anybody's permission, and then they printed off all the copies of the book, and nobody knew that this forward was going to be in there. That is the story if you look it up. Because what it says in there is they don't want to be in there, which is basically this last sentence saying, therefore, alongside the ancient hypotheses which are no more probable, notice that, let us permit these new hypotheses also become known, especially since they are admirable as well as simple and bring with them a huge treasure of very skillful observations. So far as hypotheses are concerned, let no one expect anything certain from astronomy, which cannot furnish it, lest he accept as the truth ideas conceived for another purpose, and depart from this study a greater fool than when he entered it. Well, if you believe in the heliocentric model, then you are becoming exactly what this person warned you of by saying you are now accepting as truth ideas conceived for another purpose. It's an art. The art of how the celestial bodies move. It's not a science. It's not just because you can put mathematical figures to heavenly spheres doesn't make it so. I mean, he talks about it here at the beginning, talking about, hey, well, some people have the earth at rest and some people have the sun at rest. And, it basically just comes down to which one it makes more sense for people studying this particular area of study. He even admits none of it is true. It's not even for that purpose. So it's just interesting that, and then now the story is, of course, if you look this guy up, Osiander, Andreas Osiander. It tells the story of him basically hijacking Copernicus's book, inserting his own forward, and then printing all the books, and nobody knew until the book was out on shelves, and then people opened and said, "Oh my God, this guy wrote something that's not supposed to be in there." Bullshit. So we were going to look at that one video. I'm going to try and find the rainbow.
Yeah, look at that, and then I gotta wrap it up.
No, I have to wrap it up. Rainbow, indoor, flat Earth, because the guy is doing it as like a flat Earth D-proof. Is that what you call it? Debunk. Let's see this guy here. This video here. I don't think he'll mind if I use it.
Debunk. I think it's.
Well, that's what he calls it. I'm just saying that. I knew that was the name of the. And it's only got 1,190 views. And yes, I did look at it too because I said the roof of the ceiling of this garage does look a little bit reflective. See, you're getting reflections up here.
Definitely reflective.
But when you see what's happening here, I never thought this was possible indoors. He also talks about what bulb you need. You need a daylight bulb. It's not the yellow light. It's more of like a white light. And then they turn on this faucet. And the other thing that I never really thought about indoors is when you look at a rainbow, you're way underneath it. It's never like even with you. So then he has to get down here, and then you see the rainbow. I don't think this is caused by the flat ceiling, which isn't even looking very reflective here. It's got some glints in it, but this is seems to, and I could see where people say it's the light bulb. Possibly it is the edge of the light bulb. You know, so you got the light bulb and the little structure back there, and that's causing it. I'm not really sure, but I did think until I saw this video that it was impossible to do.
Is there almost 2 rainbows there, or am I seeing something?
Nope, and there's actually end up being 3. Watch when he gets even lower.
Rainbow all the way.
Huh?
Anybody? Never mind.
I lost
Some
you.
people in chat will get that. Just Google double rainbow all the way. Funniest video ever.
Elephants all the way down?
Double rainbow all the way.
Double rainbow all the way. But yeah, he does see, you can, where was that you could see multiple, right here. Almost 3. Get 2 there. So yeah, I mean, that just, because if I had any kind of physical evidence of a dome, it would have been, I would have said something about the rainbow and just said, well, until...
I mean, the rainbow wasn't high up on my evidence of a dome because I really don't know how that works. My belief, and I'll call it a belief because I don't know, of a dome is just, there's just so many things pointing to it, but not mentioning the Bible. But
mostly pressurized system then?
Pressurized system. You know, how is everything in here, and why can't we get up any higher? And you know, the Go Fast rocket, there's some questions about that, but there was that other rocket that looked like it hit it and sent out some waves, and then Project Fishbowl, Dominic, and the any videos you can find of that sure look like the bomb, the explosion is going outwards. It's hitting something. It's not going up.
Right.
So.
And I guess the other thing is too, this painting here, which I've shown a bunch of times, but this is on the wall of the neutral buoyancy lab, and you'll notice that you've got the Vitruvian Man, astronaut, and this is a diving bell to get underwater. So you got the sky underwater, and then this up here is a rocket breaking out of an enclosed structure.
And you got the scuba diver and everything. I mean, that is evidence leaning towards the deception of there being some sort of dome up there.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know how else why would you have this rocket breaking out of, and you can clearly see it's not just like going out, it's breaking out. It's actually cracking this structure here.
So there you go. Those are all little pieces of evidence that point you towards a dome. There's very little pointing you away from a dome.
Let me show you something else that makes me, so if you go to Vimeo and cave diving, now think how easy it would be for NASA with $52 million a day to build a cave underground in which you put water that's filtered. And when you see these guys who do cave diving, they go underwater, and you can easily see that if you cut back for instance, the astronauts have that one rope that comes away from them. So imagine if you filtered out these bubbles through that rope. This is what we see in space. This is them doing a spacewalk with more lighting. Again, all you need to get rid of is the bubbles, because this is actual real water, and look how clean it is. So imagine if you had a filtering system on some sort of underground black pool with a screen of the earth that goes by. That's what's the craziest thing to me about, Dave, is people act as if it would be so crazy for them to fake, that it would be so easy. I mean, you and I could do it with 1 day's worth of their budget, and we could do it for 10 years.
Let's talk about NASA's budget for a second. $52 million a day. NASA, I don't believe that the fakery is getting $52 million a day.
No, I think neither do I.
That from us.
Yeah, they take that, and then if it goes to black budget, or they can make money if they really ever needed it.
Right.
So,
I don't believe they need money for anything. They just need to take money from us.
Right, and they need to pay employees, and which is just moving the economy. Because if NASA came out to be a fraud, I mean that's going to cost, I don't know, probably 100,000 people to 500,000 people their jobs, and that would hurt the economy. Something that they can't have happen. So they're going to.
We should keep them in business.
Yeah, right, huh? So yeah, if you just watch these not old, but if you watch these cave diving things, the only thing that's different than a spacewalk is these bubbles. And for everyone who says bubbles are always spheres, and when I show them in space and they say, those are not even spheres, not one of these bubbles is a sphere. Watch these bubbles coming out of people's thing. Not one of them is a sphere. They're all oblong shaped. They don't go straight up. They
and there's
bend.
Also all sorts of currents from the divers swimming around and what else is going on, and bubbles will go sideways.
Right.
They'll take a turn when they hit a current.
They'll go lots of different directions. So I don't think it's out of the question you see how these are not going straight up. This is what we see, like when they open the hatch and you see things fly up that people say are not bubbles, but they are. It's just pretty crazy when you see these bubbles. These are not spheres. Nothing is going up as a sphere. They're all oblong shaped or ovals. I don't know why that is, but anyway, Vimeo has a lot of these cave divings. And again, this is in real water with real dirt and dust at the bottom, and it still looks like space. We'll watch one more, and then I'll go look at a spacewalk just to see if we can see a connection. Then we'll be done. Where's this one? See if there's any better ones. This one, cave diving. To me, again, I always said it. How do people that are part of the human race not realize we owe it to ourselves and we owe it to our children and our grandchildren to make damn sure right now that these guys are telling the truth? Because if we just all listen to Red's rhetoric and Sean Hufford and just say, nope, they can't possibly be lying, flat earthers must be all idiots, well then when you subjected the entire human race in the future to slavery under these guys, so what does it hurt if we all just turn to NASA and make them prove it? Doesn't hurt Red's rhetoric or Sean Hufford. The only thing it does is helps prevent possible liars from getting away with deception. But they think they're so proud of themselves that they think they couldn't possibly be fooled. I won't mention any names, but people out there who have said they're not stupid enough to ever be fooled by a trick of where they live. If you believe that and you're willing to bet your children on it and other things, good luck. You may have been deceived much larger than you think. But again, these are with these like colored lights. I just think if we go to a spacewalk, it's not much different, especially if you're talking about filtered. Maybe that's what's under Area 51, huh?
Maybe.
Who knows? I just think there's so many options. There's so many possibilities of ways they could do it that are cheap, extremely cheap. It would cost you. How could it cost $1 million to build this tank? Maybe it costs $5 million. That's
Thanks for the ride along,
what is this?
Captain. I've never been in one of
I
these
hate
before,
any other channel with sides. Uh-oh.
What were you saying? Maybe they got...
Come on. There we go. Let me find a YouTube video here. This one. Connect spacewalk. And again, it's going to be hard to find mistakes in these because none of these are live. If you think that spacewalks, just because they say we're going live to a spacewalk, is live, then you're kidding yourself. It's not even close to live. It's probably 15 minutes delayed at the very least. This way, they can cut out anything. But I mean, this is no different. This looks like a filtered pool. It looks like filtered water. It's just a little cleaner than that water was we just saw. Brighter lights, What did they just switch that view for? Where did that come from? Just a random view of the Earth from that wasn't even from a camera.
Yeah, just remind you that the
Yeah.
Earth is round.
It's a ball, damn it.
What's your favorite thing about being on the International Space Station? Oh, it's seeing the curve of the Earth.
And I got to draw it with my hand too. The
Look down
curve of the
curve.
Earth.
You can really see the curve.
See it behind you there? The curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
It's a curve.
And I remember growing up, the big thing on Sunday night was Wonderful World of Disney with Walt Disney on there. And he had Werner von Braun on. He had astronauts on. Sesame Street has astronauts on.
Yeah.
They are getting our kids when they have no chance of fighting back.
No, and now with CGI getting to be where it's going to be, especially in like 5 or 10 years, they'll tell people there's people who live on the moon and then show you a video of people supposedly on the moon. And you won't have any right to doubt it. If we don't start doubting things now, they're just going to be given carte blanche to do whatever. So we have to at least make sure. I mean, for God's sakes, there's no 24/7 view of the Earth from a craft that's been in orbit of the Earth for 19 years. I mean, that is a slap in your face. If somebody gave me money, and not gave me money like a donation, but I mean, let's say everybody had $5 taken of their tax money that was given to me. They didn't have a choice. Well, you can bet your ass that the first thing I'm going to do with that money is whatever it takes to make the people happy. Since they had to have money taken from their paychecks to give me money for whatever I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure, what has NASA ever done for you? What if they can't even provide you with a view of where you live, even though everything you see on the screen here, every suit, every drill is paid for by you. You paid for it. So if you paid for every little bit that they play with, all their rockets, all their launches, all their gear, you've paid for it all. So don't you think they should provide you with something? Give you something? And they don't give you a 24/7 view of where you frickin' live? I mean, it's just ridiculous that we would ever have allowed these guys to just get away with whatever and be considered scientific. This is scientific. Look at this structure. This is a disgusting mess. Engineers should be ashamed of whoever made the ISS. I don't know. I get so pissed because, like, why would you go outside? Why would you ever go outside the craft? You're putting people's lives in jeopardy, and they could possibly die. Anything, we don't know what could happen. They could get snagged on one of these things. And we know how things are made in every other area of life.
Jaron, if they put everything on the inside, there'd be no room.
You couldn't make a hole. You couldn't make like
You know what something that was a good analogy is when you look at the moon lander, the homeless tweaker shelter.
right.
You have to believe that can work as a submarine also.
Oh,
Would
good
you go in
point.
that thing
Oh my
with
God, good
submerged
point.
water?
No, there's no freaking way. And the thing I've just been bringing up lately is that because I just heard it recently, when they took off, the thing takes off, like, woo, and then within 10 seconds they said, pitch over. And I said, hold on a second. When we hear that on Earth, when they pitch over, they're all in their seats and seat belts, meaning the craft can go any direction it wants and they're secured. But in the lunar lander, Aldrin and Armstrong were standing. There's no seat belts. There was no seats. So
What happens when they move? Doesn't their body weight affect it?
yeah, well, imagine 10 seconds after they took off, it says pitch over, which means the craft turned sideways, which means
But
Aldrin was
no
sitting
gravity.
on his...
They don't have to worry about anything.
No, there is gravity. You're on the moon. The moon has gravity.
Not a gravity. Come on.
Well, I'm saying in their world, it doesn't even make sense in their world. Look at this. This is like a see-through. What is going on here? Wait, hold on. I gotta rewind this. Why are we seeing space? Okay, hold on. Am I missing? What am I watching here? Is this somebody's like joke video? In the space videos, ISS astronauts. Didn't we just see like a see-through man? Like, what is this? See, here's the thing. This could be just a terrible layering mistake. This could be an error telling us all. And Red's rhetoric will say, it's broken pixels, dude. It's broken pixels. How are you so stupid to think this proves anything? Well, with that attitude, then you're right. We could see a Michelin man go walking by, and he'd be like, dude, that's a reflection.
I completely disagree on Red's rhetoric. He is a paid shill in my book. You think he's just an idiot that believes. I think there's nobody can be that stupid.
I don't know.
Nobody.
These guys, they get that that fanboy feeling in him. I don't know. I mean, I've seen people like
There's
cheer
no
on
way.
rocket launches, like cheer it
the
on.
technique he uses of swearing and insulting,
Well, that's
just
what- yeah.
sucking energy out of people. He is a well-groomed shill, in my opinion.
That's when I stopped talking to him, when I realized, because we would have conversations offline and he'd be trying to explain something to me and I would be talking to him and it would be a normal conversation between two guys, completely no curse words, no I hate you, this and that. And then he'd be like, dude, let's go talk about this on my channel. It's like, all right, if you want to, that's fine. Then we go over to his channel and immediately he is a completely different person. You're like, what happened to the person I was just talking to? Well, I just want to make sure that everyone understands that you're dipshit ass. I was like, okay, here we go. I mean, then it's just like, why would I ever do that again? I'm not in. I know I'm never going to change his mind. The goal is to get people who are listening to consider my points over his. But what is this see-through star field? How are we getting? I don't even know how it makes sense. If it's broken pixels, then what's happening of the layer that is see-through? I just want to see if there's any more of that. Oh, this is nice. The purple people eater camera. Crap.
All right, we can do this all night, but
Yep.
I have to go do some stuff.
Was there something else we were going to look at? I forgot. Oh, no. Wait. I was
We
just
were
going
going to
to
look at the rainbow. You did that.
Did that. The only thing I was going to show, this is what tells me that there is people out there that believe this stuff, because there's so many videos of people who, I don't know if we'll be able to find one, people who like film themselves in their living room watching SpaceX launches, and it's not fake unless it's like
There's
people
also people that film themselves watching Two Girls, One Cup.
like reaction videos or something.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like somebody just like filming themselves watching it. Like he sets up his whole family on the couch and like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand what it's doing.
I remember watching the Apollo astronauts, the walk, across the gangway, and they put them in and they close the door, and the indoctrination from that, 'cause the whole family sat around and watched it. And so they couldn't have faked it.
Right.
When you think back to what they did, it's amazing. I don't know how I woke up.
And the other thing is that they made sure that they gave jobs to like every business in the country, because they knew that if your grandfather's best friend made a little transistor for the Saturn V rocket that went only on Apollo 14.
My dad made the screws
right.
that held the door shut.
Exactly. Yep.
The bolts.
Then you go to bed. I remember when I first started talking about this, people saying like, "You're calling my grandfather a liar. He built the rocket nozzle for the." It's like, no, I didn't call him a liar, but he might want to look into where that rocket ever went. So, Dave, I still haven't checked in with that guy, but you don't think that guy that called the phone line show last week was real, or do you think he was real? Did you hear that conversation finally?
Yeah, I did. He sounded legit to me, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that would be one of the biggest stories in this whole thing. And Globers would just...
He was real. He's dead now.
No, he's still alive, but they wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
I don't see the one I was looking at, but there's just videos of people that tell me these guys are really in love with it. They just... I don't know what they think it's doing, how it's helping people. When everybody's got their free food and free water and free housing and free clothing, and there's no starving children, then if you want to go play in your space land and your fantasy land, then go ahead.
The argument they give is we need to diversify. We need to find other places because something catastrophic could happen here, and if we don't start now getting people to other planets, then it's going to be too late. So
who's the only one saying that? Darren. Who's the only one saying that though? There's two people actually. Who are the two people saying we need to get off this planet if we're going to survive?
NGT?
No, I don't hear it from him. I hear it from
who's saying it?
Elon.
I don't know.
Elon Musk, and the other one is Stephen Hawking. And here's my opinion of Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking found out the Earth was flat probably 55 years ago. He said he was going to come out and tell everybody, and his punishment for that is he has been purposely retarded, sat into a chair, and made to speak about the ball Earth constantly for the rest of his life. That is his punishment.
That's the thing you and I disagree on. Stephen Hawking's was one that was fooled from the beginning, got ALS, and died 45 or 50 years ago.
So what would be the point of having the guy now?
Because they got the perfect guy that people respect is a genius, and they can get him to say anything they want. And how dare you even question it? Because he's a cripple, and that would just
So
mean you're a
rude.
heartless monster that's going to hell.
Oh, so rude. Yeah, I kick puppies on the weekends too.
Yeah.
In case you know. All right, guys.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, we
Thanks.
just wanted to have a quick little conversation chat kind of thing, and we will talk to you guys soon. Be kind and don't lie, and open your mind and find your own truth. Till next time, this has been Jaronism. Peace.
That's just a lens flare. You mean to the upper right at like 1 o'clock?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, that's just a lens flare. Nope, it's Nibiru, confirmed.
Interesting,
No?
interesting. I don't know. I've heard some people talking about it being a reflection off the atmospheric or the glass or the molten-looking glass dome.
You know, I won't rule it out, but I know that I have a lens cover. I have a lens filter on my lens. So now not only do I have a lens, I'm looking through another lens. So to me, that looks just like a filter. If I move the drone around, I bet it moves.
Let's see.
But the delay. Let me see what.
Oh.
What happened.
I keep refreshing, and I almost feel like we're watching the same thing over and over again, but I don't really know.
Yeah, you know what? Because right now the sun literally is. You can only see the top of it.
Oh, tell him to press the play button.
This is
Huh?
a miserable failure, but
This one? Oh.
Our stream here.
Yeah, that's.
Probably echoing now because I brought the controller back inside.
I don't know. We got a real winner over here in the chat. This channel name is Trust Christ or Go to Hell, and their first message is Jaron will burn in hell. That's lovely. That person's getting an immediate high five when he walks into heaven. God's going to be like, yes, you told people they're going to hell? My buddy. Yes.
I'm going to bring the drone down. I'm going to end my live stream. You talk to people in chat for a minute. I'm going to throw it up again. I'm going to start a new live stream, and maybe it'll show what's left, all right?
Okay, then I'll have another window. It'll be better. I'll have another window open.
All right, stand by.
Stand by. You're bringing this one down. I'm getting rid of that one. Okay. Let's go back over here and get something else on there. Let's go to the stolen money screen for a second. What's better than that? The current running total of space scam spending since 1960 is right now at 5,349 million, and make that 350 million and change. So I don't think I can I make this go to another window? New tab.
What's on my display is absolutely amazing, and it's not what's on your screen right now, and it's not what's on my stream either.
Right? Is it on? It's not on your your channel.
It says it's streaming from the drone. The only screen that's correct is the drone screen.
Yeah, because I'm on your channel. Let me refresh your channel real quick, see what happens.
Yeah, it's not working.
Oh, yeah, it is. I see it.
Yeah, but the sun is literally behind those clouds right now. It literally is a quarter of the size that we see it right here, and it's just moving away.
So,
Damn it! It was a perfect one. Maybe if it doesn't show now because it's buffering, when it renders later, will it show it correctly when it uploads?
I don't know. I don't have a drone.
No, I'm talking about the live stream. Well, if the live stream freezes,
Usually not. No.
okay. Well, that sucks.
So, what this is not playing at all then, what we're watching here?
I think it's way behind for some
Okay,
reason.
I'm going to try and refresh again. Oh, no, I see something flying around over there. A bird or something? I'm going to try and zoom in real quick and see what I can see. Yes, I think that's a bird. What is that? Bird?
Where?
Flying on the left-hand side there? I don't know what people can see on the live stream because I zoomed in. Yeah, you're getting some terrible, buffering.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
They're shutting you down.
It was rock solid proof that we're not spinning. Oh, I see it now. It's a airplane.
I don't know if that was a plane, but it could have been. So what do you think that reflection flare is out there? What does it matter? What difference does it make whether the Earth is flat or round? Well, the difference is about 5.5 trillion, or 5.005 trillion. 1 second, we're going to see if David can get his drone back up. I'm going to shut this one down, the one that's buffering, the one that's telling me I'm going to hell.
Coming in for a landing. Give me another minute.
Oh, I do not have a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's nothing's wrong with my feed. My feed says the health is good. There's no bad reports on that one. So I think that it's just yours that has an issue. Okay, so yeah, if you open up a new one, Dave, then I'll put that one up and it should be ready. I think. DITRH. And then I'll head over to the chat and see what's going on with people. Anything else new and exciting that I can think of? Like I said, new video coming out shortly. And this one here. So if everybody saw last night, I saw that Flat Earth Asshole is no longer Flat Earth Asshole. He's now Jake the Asshole. And his reason for that is because Flat Earth makes too many speculations, unfounded speculations. And then he went into a discussion on how Dave Chappelle has been replaced, because that's not speculation. So I was a little bit confused myself. But good riddance, Jake. Have fun. Don't let the dome hit you on your way out.
All right, just initializing. Stand by.
I'm waiting for you. I see your channel here. Oh, I need to open this in a new window, not the same browser. Hold on. Okay, so I'm ready when you go. Will it just pop up on your channel? Is that because I just went there last time and it was there. Now it's not there. Huh?
Give me a sec.
Okay, you have a sec.
It'll just pop up on my channel, but I'll tell you when it's up.
Okay, tell me there. I'm gonna go check out the chat.
Okay.
Hey, thank you. I see a.
Oh, now there it is.
Okay, the live stream's a little bit behind.
Yeah. Can you go forward?
Go.
Do I need?
What do you mean?
Let me just change the angle. No, you're way back.
Me? What are you talking about? Me?
All right, never mind.
Oh, I can't change where I'm at in the real time. No, it's not possible. It's called time travel, and I'm pretty sure it breaks every law that there is.
So the sun has just been sitting on the horizon. So the question of whether it refracts or not, humidity or not, doesn't even matter, because it would just drop below the horizon. As soon as the bottom edge of the sun touches the horizon, 10 seconds later, the top should be gone. Right?
Can you take the color saturation down or up so we can see the more of the disc, or no?
Let me see. Hold on.
I thought you did that when we were in North Carolina. So, everybody, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. David wanted to get this done, and I think we're up and running. Everything should be working fine. You should be able to hear us both. I'll check the chat in a second, make sure that everybody's happy and content. What's this here? I have a video coming out probably within an hour or so. I'm putting the lyrics on the screen. It is another world premiere music video.
I think that my stream froze somehow. I think it's frozen, and that's why it's not setting.
It's just staying right there on the horizon line.
Yeah.
It's been there for 20 minutes. Something's going on here. Some sort of anomaly.
No, on the screen that I'm looking at, it's still there.
Somebody says the stream is buffering. I don't know if they're talking about my stream or...
The whole thing is buffering.
Oh, and I know what else is happening is that if I switch this screen, then that's why. Okay, let me see. 1 second.
All right, you live yet?
Yeah, my intro's playing, I think.
Oh, you're
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jaronism back with a live video that we literally 3 minutes ago decided to do, courtesy of the always punctual, deep inside the rabbit hole, David Weiss. David, what's going on?
Hey, man.
I'm trying to make sure that we have your feed up. 1 second. Let me pull this over here. DITRH. Where is it?
I see on your channel what I'm seeing. I see your intro.
My logo only, right?
Multiplex, demultiplexer, yes.
I wonder why this is not bringing up your page. Let me try this again. It was working before.
Turn
properties.
up. Turn volume up of me. My volume's low. But let's get the video up before you get my volume up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. 1 second. Let me get that going because for some reason it's not up here. Where is your thing? This one. Okay, wait. Why is your screen like a... Oh, there. Now I got it.
You got it?
Oh, I'll have it in 1 second. Yep, now it should be on the live screen.
It is back to your logo, jumping all over the place. Black. Back to your logo. This is fantastic.
I think I fixed it. Maybe.
Is it? It just keeps repeating your...